thoughts on the most desired end game in Myanmar, Burma. Feeling the need that we should present in this updated edition of Aung San Suu Kyi from prison and a letter to a dictator, a chapter on what we imagine, what we hope, what this campaign, useyourfreedom.org, to free Aung San Suu Kyi and President U Win Myint and the 20,000 unlawfully imprisoned prisoners of conscience. What is the outcome? Imagine that Ming Online, Burma's military dictator, called me and asked me quite directly, Aung Clements, outline the end game that you see at this stage from your assessment. It's the most beneficial to all the stakeholders. What would you say to him? Well, here in this moment of improvisational call it what? Lone wolf activism. I think this is what I would say. I'd say, Sir, Ming Online, the country is fractured with violence and war, terror, and trauma. Let me be clear. Let me be unambiguous. Hear me, sir. War, violence, and killing is dead. It's not even Stone Age. It's dead. We have an opportunity here, you, all of us, for what would I call it? Okay, revolutionary reconciliation, RR. That's where we pivot, knowing deep in our consciousness that war, violence, and killing is dead. We go, okay, now what? The only way forward, revolutionary reconciliation. So, ideal scenario, somehow, some way that this information that is being articulated and shared and evolved with Fergus and myself back and forth, gets to Ming Online. He hears it, he sees it, he reads it, he's told about it in his language. Ideally, oh my God, a Zoom call where it's face to face. Other than that, beautifully articulated in Burmese, and he reads it or hears it like an audio statement book. So what am I proposing? What are we proposing for the end game? Number one, an immediate call from you, sir, for a ceasefire. Pull back the weapons. Stop droning, stop missiling, stop shooting, stop the violence. Just ceasefire. As the monks and nuns have their annual rains retreat, have a date where the ceasefire begins for 3 months to explore revolutionary reconciliation. And this is Burma's archetypal moment. Conflicts are everywhere. We feel it and see it and scroll the count of death and injured every day, day after day. Ukraine, Russia, Gaza, Israel, Iran, Myanmar, Burma, around the world, Chicago. War, violence, killing is dead. Revolutionary reconciliation, fostering, I use this word sparingly, a sacred future that gives life a chance to breathe without this existential artifact of violence, this genome of violence. Stop. We're addressing that in the tapestry of consciousness. War, violence, killing is dead. Revolutionary reconciliation is the birth of the most basic human experience. Dialogue, talk, conversation, debate. Okay. So Ming Online, I would say, get on national TV and make it known to the world that on such and such a date, you are going to give a national statement that can be star-linked, seen and heard in multiple languages around the world. You have something to say, and you're going to say it, Ming Online. It's an archetypal moment, Burma's archetypal moment. Again, there's war, violence, killing is dead. The outcome of this civil war, it's not civil, is just mutual destruction, scorched earth so that everyone dies. Just Burma become the land of trauma. And that's not the way it should be. There's a human choice here. Choosing to restrain from this primordial war, violence, killing meme embedded deep in consciousness. It's saying that moha gene, that ignorance gene, is dead. It doesn't work. Drop it. RR, revolutionary reconciliation, mindfully, intelligently using language, words, dialogue, conversation, debate. Yes, we will disagree, but we're going to talk about it. So, Ming Online, you get on national TV and you do the right thing. This is your do the right thing moment. You announce to all the people of your country, and of course the entire world, it's broadcast simultaneously. You immediately released Aung San Suu Kyi and bring her back to her home in Naypyidaw. You immediately release President Win Myint and bring him back to his home in Naypyidaw. You immediately release all other, hear me, Ming Online, unlawfully, okay? You did it, it's done. We all make mistakes. You're going to release all other elected democratic leaders and bring them back to their homes. And then you're going to release all other prisoners of conscience. You're saying this nationally and internationally. Okay, that you're going on live television and making this Burma's archetypal moment. And let's call it the Ashoka Peace Accord, after King Ashoka in ancient India, the ultimate expression of redemption and reconciliation. And you can imagine the celebration that the people of your country feel in the ceasefire and then the release of these prisoners. I mean, it's an unimaginable level of radiant joy and beauty and bliss and vibrancy and the restoration of humanity just in that act. Release Aung San Suu Kyi, President Win Myint, U Win Taint, the other elected democratic leaders, and all 20,000 plus political prisoners. And skillfully bring your people to them in service. People of your country are unbelievably gifted in giving and healing and loving, nurturing and medicines and food and clothing. Do all that you can to bring forth to all these former prisoners of conscience the gifts of restoration, of health, of medicine, clothing, of shelter, financial support. Do all you can to restore their well-being. Of course, delegate this to some of your closest people so that they begin to enjoy and employ the beauty of, as you call in your native country, in Pali, Dana, the beauty of generosity, giving to others as one would like to be given to oneself. Amazing moment on planet Earth, and the people of your country of Burma their hands are to the sky, their eyes are wide open, their hearts have melted, they're reunited with their sisters, their mothers, their fathers, their brothers. It's unbelievable. It's so right there, Ming Online. So that's number one. You've released Aung San Suu Kyi, President Win Myint, Senior Minister U Win Taint, all the other elected democratic leaders, and the 20,000 plus prisoners of conscience, and you've anointed them with the gifts of health and restoration and financial support. The ceasefire now is in its first 10 days, 2 weeks. The Ashoka Peace Accord is being actualized by your initiative, Ming Online. In a historic moment, to say the least. Point two, going into the revolutionary reconciliation. You know, like, what are we going to do with you? What are we going to do with the other senior generals, colonels, regional commanders, the other 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 military families and their cronies and their relatives? That deep ecosystem of interrelated, tamada, instigated war, violence, and killing. That is, whoa, there's going to be a lot of energy there. So you got to really talk to that 1,000 family mycelium of people and say, listen, especially your inner circle of leaders, including not so retired Tan Shui, who's in Naypyidaw, your former military general. You're wondering what's going to happen to all of you. Well, cease fire. No one harms anyone. That's the deal here. Revolutionary reconciliation. And you call, Ming Online, in your speech to the nation and to the world, you show and express to the best of your ability that you've had an act, well, your conscience has been pricked. You've awakened. to Hirianotapa. You feel remorse, conscious shame for what's happened and what's happening. And you are making good on your promise to the Dhamma as a good Buddhist, the Samvega in your inner beingness that's awakening to do the right thing. It's the revolution of your sila, your moral integrity. That's so rad. That's so cool that you're, nurturing your innermost wealth, if you will. I mean, to state the obvious, we all make mistakes. We all have blind spots. We all get trapped by deception, self-deception, and denial. Trauma after trauma, dukkha after dukkha, suffering. No first beginning, as the Buddha was said to have said, to this in hyper-complex cognitive, physical, environmental, eco-tapestry of feeling and emotion and psychology and conditions, always changing. Yeah, we're not in control. We have blind spots. We make mistakes. Well, revolutionary reconciliation here is seeing, war, violence, and killing is dead, and revolutionary reconciliation is the only way forward. That's the blue sky. That's why Burma's archetypal moment could change the world. And you're saying this on national television and internationally being broadcast. And your next point is that you want to walk your talk. What does it mean to foster revolutionary reconciliation? Well, you're going to bring those elected democratic leaders. They'll come. Aung San Suu Kyi and Win Myint and Nguyen Thanh and all the others, and Tan Shui and how many others, the ethnic armed organizational leaders from the national unity government, the leaders, all the stakeholders in this nation of Myanmar. Bring them to Naypyidaw. Ceasefire. We're going into the second month. No guns allowed. They're left on the outskirts of Naypyidaw. No one has guns. This is not a trap. This is a revolutionary moment, not only for Myanmar, but the world. Imagine everyone coming to Naypyidaw to talk about it, because everyone has that instinct in them that feels that war, violence, killing is dead. It's no longer operative in me. It doesn't work to be pounding my head against the wall thinking that I'm hurting you. I'm killing me. It's killing me. Can't kill your way out of this. That's the tragic beauty of this thing. We're seeing the convulsions of ignorance, and within it, there's that Dhamma, that refuge, that light. We must learn yet again to talk about it. Use our consciousness, our vocal cords, our learned language, our felt meaning, tonality, and definition, and space, and the vibrancy, and the intention, and the passion of our speech, and that quality of listening that feels other. As I'm listening to you, I'm listening to me, and you have that internal dialogue. I don't like it, but you relax, and Hiri and Otapa and conscience and dignity is saturated with mindful intelligence and self-respect and self-compassion. And who among us knows ultimately what is right? So we have to be patient to listen. This is about reconciliation, not making the other wrong, making us both right and coming closer and closer, more intimately felt in each other for this desired outcome. Peaceful coexistence, the radiance of revolutionary reconciliation. Peaceful coexistence. Myanmar has an opportunity here, bringing all these people together. Imagine that. The leaders in the Thamada, the military, the leaders in the democratically elected government that you just released from prison, all the ethnic leaders, the intellectuals, some of the academics and professors, the media. You could even invite world leaders and dignitaries, men and women from around the world, from different nations. Invite whomever you wish. Maybe Mr. Putin would come. Maybe Xi Jinping would come. Maybe Kim Jong-un would come. Maybe even President Trump or Biden would come. Maybe Robert Kennedy Jr. would come. Maybe the Dalai Lama would come. Maybe the Pope would come. Invite anyone and everyone and say that you would like to host them freely as Dana in Naypyidaw for a month-long summit of revolutionary reconciliation, where we're going to sit in the parliament and talk about it. Like the Dayton Peace Accords after the three-way genocide in the former Yugoslavia, Croatia, Bosnia, Herzegovina. We all remember the tragedies there. And when the earth was just flooded with blood, they too saw that war, violence, and killing and genocide is dead. And they talked about it. That's what we're doing. That's what you're doing, Ming Online, in Myanmar. Talking about it. And you invite people, trained professionals, mediators, to be able to develop a protocol of communication. There's going to be a lot of anger, a lot of hurt, a lot of fear, a lot of rage, a lot of love, a lot of tears. What a moment to film 24/7 this epic Ashoka Peace Accord in Naypyidaw, Burma's archetypal moment. When we as citizens of the planet realize war and violence and killing and genocide is dead, and the radiance of revolutionary reconciliation and peaceful coexistence, a sacred future to believe in through the experience. And what you're doing, Ming Online, telling the people of your country, as you've released Aung San Suu Kyi and President Win Myint and the 20,000 political prisoners, what an amazing moment. You, sir, will be, without a doubt, nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. The people of Burma, Myanmar, will be nominated collectively for the Peace Prize. This is the most epic moment on our beloved planet. And during this month of dialogue and hate and debate and reconciliation, talk about all that needs to be talked about and give Burma, which is the latest birth of democracy on the planet, a chance to live. Save this child and let this new birth of democracy, whatever it may be, a trans-federalism, something that's so radically brought forth through this process of revolutionary discussion and reconciliation, and you develop a new constitution, a 2025 constitution or a 2024 constitution, the Universal Declaration of Reconciliation and Freedoms for all beings in this blessed country of Myanmar, where fairness and justice and rule of law is actualized and elevated, and give peace and justice and love a chance. This is Dhamma in the world of politics. This is the, what do we say? The APA, the Ashoka Peace Accord, birthed in Burma, Burma's archetypal moment, based upon the recognition of the meme that war, violence, killing, genocide is dead. And out of that gives birth to the radiant revolutionary rapture of reconciliation in dynamic action. And all those mediators there, wise women and some men from around the world that hold conscious sacred space in this Naypyidaw parliament. And boy, girl, wow, woman, man, earth, what a moment you have, Ming Online, in your announcement to the people of your country to free Aung San Suu Kyi, our beloved Nobel Peace Laureate, the elected President Win Myint, the other democratically elected leaders, and the 20,000 prisoners of conscience, and their healing. And your country, I've only briefly lived there, is so beautiful. You can be sure. Trust, radical trust, RT, from these tears and the trauma, there'll be a resurrection, there'll be a redemption, a restoration, a radiance. That's so breathtaking, so beautiful. And right now, at this epic moment of darkness, there is light, Ming Online. It's in your heart, in your conscience, in your Namarupa, in your mind and body. The seed of that Dhamma is there. That revolutionary spirit is in you. Feel it, nurture it, awaken to it, and bring it forth and call upon all those families, all the military colonels and generals around you, the cronies. Okay, listen, guys and girls, war, violence, killing is over. It's dead. We're going to do it differently. And no one's going to go to prison here, okay? We're going to put a moratorium on prison in Burma. Aung San Suu Kyi and the other elected leaders made it very clear they weren't into retribution, revenge. They coexisted with you. Okay? Bring in the last point, healers and psychiatrists and psychologists and whatever kind of plant medicine and psychedelic assisted stress, anxiety, depression, shame, whatever's needed to heal these ancient, primordial scars and traumas and elevate. Let the nuns and the monks bring forth the radiance of dana, sila, bhavana, the beauty of consciousness inhabiting beautiful states of mind. That's Myanmar. And you coexist with so many diverse ethnic peoples. I've traveled that country. It's a spectacle of the heart. Give this a chance, Ming Online. That's the suggestion. This is the end game. And at the end of the 3-month ceasefire, have all the dialogue, all the transcribed and collated using AI, and put forth a new charter, a new constitution, and let the elected leaders of the country do what they were elected to do, lead and unify all the people now. We know the need for unification of all the people's voices being heard equally. And you, sir, as a long-standing military man, and all the other people in the military, chill. Just deep, deep, deep chill. Just, there must be something to support all of you in coming to terms with what you need to feel in yourself in order to re-inhabit a nonviolent, peaceful coexistence with each other and the people of your beloved country and the world. Let us see this grand experiment of democracy, the Ashoka Peace Accord, the end game in Burma, beginning of a new democracy, and war, violence, killing, and genocide is dead. Revolutionary reconciliation. And so we move into the future after this 3-month ceasefire. Okay, so that's the end game that I imagine here extemporaneously, riffing on April 20th, 2024, here in the Bali House, Haiku, Maui, Hawaii, USA, planet Earth.